Welcome to Outdoor Oasis Ideas. Picture the front garden of a classic home transformed into a living ribbon of color and texture. The plants rise in layered bands from dark mulch to bright blooms, framing windows and a welcoming porch. That visual will guide the journey we take together. Practical, inspiring, and rooted in how we can shape outdoor spaces that invite daily delight. Open with the big idea. Gardens are design and care working together. The border in this scene shows a simple principle: height, color, and repetition create harmony. Start by describing how the tallest elements at the back sit near the house. Columnar pillars of lavender blue spikes and taller shrub forms that anchor the composition. Move forward in the bed with mid-height clumps of yellow daisy-like flowers and soft pink mounds. Then finish at the edge with low, carpet-like blooms and ornamental grasses. This tiered arrangement keeps sight lines open from the porch, while delivering continuous interest at eye level for passers-by. Next, talk about choosing plants with purpose. Point out the layered mix as an intentional blend of bloom times, textures, and functions. Emphasize picking a backbone of reliable perennials. Long-blooming Rudbeckia or black-eyed Susans for summer drama, lupin or salvia for vertical accents, and daylilies for sturdy foliage that hides the soil. Add low annuals or ground covers for instant color, and to fill gaps between seasons. Remind viewers that combining perennials and annuals lets the garden look full from the first season, while the long-term plants establish themselves. Discuss how color and contrast guide the eye. Explain why complementary pops, golden yellows next to violet spikes, soft pinks set against deep green foliage, feel balanced. Encourage choosing a restrained palette with 2 or 3 dominant colors, then sprinkling in an accent color to enliven the bed. Describe using foliage color and texture as design tools too. Variegated leaves, fine grassy clumps, and broad glossy leaves each play a different role. So mix textures to prevent a flat look. Move into practical site planning. Show how to assess sunlight and soil before buying plants. If the bed receives morning sun and afternoon shade, focus on plants that thrive in dappled light. Full sun beds need heat-tolerant species. Explain testing soil by texture and drainage. Dig a hole, note how water moves, and amend with compost if the soil is heavy or depleted. Recommend adding a 3 to 4 inch layer of organic mulch to suppress weeds, retain moisture, and provide a crisp backdrop that makes colors pop. Include a step-by-step low-stress planting approach. First, map the bed on paper and place taller plants toward the rear, staggered rather than a single line. Space perennials according to mature size, allowing room for growth. Dig holes twice as wide as the root ball and plant slightly shallow if the soil is compacted. Explain backfilling gently, tamping to remove air pockets, and watering thoroughly to settle roots. Point out the value of grouping plants in odd numbers. 3s and 5s read as natural clusters and feel more pleasing than even rows. Cover seasonal care that keeps the border looking its best. Share a simple maintenance rhythm. Water deeply and less often to encourage deep roots. Deadhead spent blooms to prolong flowering. Divide crowded perennials every few years to renew vigor and expand the planting elsewhere. Mention light pruning and removing winter debris in early spring so new growth isn't hindered. Suggest a mid-season check to add a few annuals or adjust mulch levels. Offer budget-friendly design tips. Encourage starting with smaller plants that will bulk up quickly and using layering of inexpensive annuals at the front for immediate impact. Swap divisions with neighbors or join plant swap groups to broaden the palette without a big spend. Recommend focusing money on a few showy focal plants while filling in with economical ground covers and grasses. Address sustainability and wildlife-friendly strategies. Highlight choosing native plants where possible to support pollinators and reduce maintenance. Plant continuous bloomers to provide nectar throughout the season, and include some seed-bearing varieties that feed birds in fall and winter. Avoid broad-spectrum pesticides. Use hand removal or targeted solutions for pests. Capture rainwater in barrels, and use drip irrigation or soaker hoses to water efficiently. Move into composition refinements that elevate a simple border into a signature landscape. Explain how repetition creates rhythm. Repeat a few plant varieties or colors at intervals to tie the whole length of the bed together. Introduce focal points like a sculptural perennial clump, a small ornamental tree, or a decorative urn near the porch to anchor the view. Use a curved edge rather than a straight line to make the bed feel more organic, and lead the eye along the house. Recommend adding a narrow path or stepping stones for access and visual depth if space allows. Give troubleshooting advice for common front border problems. If plants look leggy, suggest shearing back spent stems to encourage compact growth. For crowded beds, demonstrate dividing and relocating plants in early spring or fall. If drainage is poor, propose raising the bed slightly or incorporating organic matter to improve soil structure. For deer or rabbit pressure, recommend sturdy mid-height shrubs, strong scented herbs in the border edge, or physical barriers like low fencing and repellents used judiciously. Bring the viewer into the moment with sensory touches. Describe running fingers along soft grasses, inhaling the subtle minty or sweet scents of late afternoon blooms, and listening to pollinators hum among the spikes and daisies. Encourage making the garden a place to pause. Adding a small bench on the porch or a pair of chairs nearby, so the garden becomes part of daily life, not just a backdrop. Close with actionable next steps the viewer can take this weekend. Walk the bed, assess light and soil, sketch a simple plan focused on 3 to 5 plant types repeated for unity, and pick one focal plant to build around. Buy small starter plants or plan a swap with a neighbor. Prepare soil, add compost, and lay fresh mulch to refresh the bed's appearance instantly. Thank the audience for watching Outdoor Oasis Ideas and encourage subscribing for more practical design guidance, seasonal care tips, and landscape inspiration.